Get ready for the Squawking Eagles Podcast.
Hello, and welcome back to the Squawking Eagles Podcast. Good morning, and welcome back. Welcome back to week 2. We will preview week 1, but today I'm joined by Miguel and Mark. We are here to discuss the win that we had in New England. We'll discuss a few things around the NFL, and we will preview Thursday night's game against Minnesota. So, how you doing, guys?
I'm alive.
Everybody's got a price. So
it's been a wild week. We'll talk about the game. We'll talk about what happened around the NFL. We'll talk a little bit fantasy here. And we'll talk about the new NFL how the standings are looking out for our new NFL that we are going to follow, and then we'll preview the Minnesota game. So
we had a bit of a shakeup already.
Big shakeup with the Eagles. Got a few injuries coming off of that game against New England. We got Nakobe Dean with a foot injury. He's going to be out for a couple of weeks. We've got Bradbury. He's in concussion protocol.
Mm-hmm.
We have Kenny Gainwell with rib injury. He's going to see if he can go or not. We got Fletcher Cox with a rib injury. He's going to see if he is able to play. So with Bradbury out, we're going to have to be talking about who's going to be going up against Vikings number 2.
Can I just I want to touch real quick on Nakobe Dean?
Yeah,
I've already seen some. I guess. Here I am being the asshole, calling out other assholes again. A lot of hate towards Dean. A lot of people saying like he really isn't doing it. He was second on the team in tackles this week.
Yeah.
And last year he was like leading our team in tackles at the end of the season.
Mm-hmm.
What am I missing? That people are saying that he's so bad that I'm already seeing calls for us getting a new linebacker. I'm like,
because they don't like his size. They think he's too small for a linebacker.
I think they're too stupid. I mean, the problem is, and like again, I think you've seen it, Mike. We talked about this. I think in an earlier pod. Yeah, he's not always making the tackles, but how many times in a read do you see him making the play where he's filling the gap, he's filling the hole?
Yeah,
the running back has to go somewhere else.
Yeah, that's what he wanted to do. That's what he wanted to do.
That's the thing is that people want to see the playmaker and not what's behind what makes the play. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but it's important.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like so many times you get these tackles by like Fletcher Cox or Brandon Graham and all those guys that are in there because that gap is being opened for that running back is being filled. And so the running back has to make a turn and you're getting turned into Jalen Carter, getting turned into Fletcher Cox.
Yeah.
Like no running back wants that. That running back wishes Dean weren't there. They wish that hole was wide open. I'm like, he's second in the team in tackles, and he's doing everything right. Like, what are you complaining about? This is one of the best linebackers we've ever had.
He was flying all over the field that day.
Yeah, so, he'll be back. He'll be back stronger.
Oh, I know. I'm just excited. I'm excited for him to get back. I can't wait. I got his jersey.
Yeah, so the Eagles, I think they signed Moreau from the practice squad, so he's going to be elevated.
Makes sense.
Didn't they sign somebody else from Seattle? Seattle's old linebacker.
To the practice squad. He was a first round pick.
It was Rashad Evans or
Rashad Evans.
Rashad something.
Yeah. So if anyone listened to the post game pod with our in game reactions, I think we were pretty tamed and annoyed about how the Eagles ran their offense. Again, last year they beat the Lions the first week, and it was a rusty game. They came away with a win. They played rusty again against the Patriots. The Patriots came for a fight. Eagles were tired. They didn't look tired, but they looked rusty. Like they definitely were not. Rusty. They were rusty. But I think the play calling was a little bit off. Like, how can Dallas Goedert play a whole game and not get any targets?
I blame that on Jalen. I think that's Jalen just being rusty.
Yeah.
Yeah, because how do you miss that one read where he's just on the sideline waving his hands?
Because
the people that were trying to cover him,
7 of those.
blitzed in. Yeah,
you're right.
I mean, that was just Jalen not picking up what was going on, reading the defense right. He probably already was going to the line of scrimmage with the mindset of we're running the ball.
He did. He approached like a rookie. It was so weird for me to see Jalen lock in on someone where like you'd see him hike the ball and his eyes would go straight to AJ Brown, and they would just stay on him, and he would throw the ball. He's in double coverage. They're watching you, and you got Goddard standing there like, "Hi, yo, hey, me in the end zone, wide open, right here. Yeah. Nobody's on me." Multiple times. I'll almost put money on it. Last year, I'd be like, something like this happened where AJ didn't. I think was it Brown or no, it was Smith didn't get the ball like the entire first game because we were featuring AJ Brown. The very next game, first ball was Smith. Yeah. First ball Thursday is Goddard.
I think you're 100% right. I think that's going to totally happen. They did that all the time last year.
Yeah,
where AJ got a lot of balls and the first ball would go to Devontae or they went to AJ. So that's what's going to happen.
Yeah, because I mean, you don't just have someone. I mean, it'd be one thing if you're like, hey, we have a rookie tight end who's a blocking tight end who's wide open, and it's like, all right, I didn't quite look his way because in practice he hasn't caught a ball all preseason. Fine. Yeah. No, you're talking about one of the best receiving tight ends in the league right now.
Yeah,
like he's got, in my opinion, top 5 without competition. Like,
so I think maybe also the weather kind of contributed to the fact that the play calling was off. Let's just give him that too. You know, that was, you know.
I mean, that was the first quarter.
You know,
beginning of the second quarter, I can't really let that slide. Like, okay, I understand run the ball because it's raining. You might not want to throw it as much, but I mean, after the second quarter, it stopped raining, so you can't really.
To bounce off your thought right there, run the ball. Why? I understand they don't cost near as much as Miles would have, but why do we just sign 2 great free agent running backs to not use them?
Yeah, why put him? Why only give Swift 2 carries? Like, what was the point? Like, all right, we already kind of knew Gainwell and Swift were going to kind of split starter spots, I guess you could say, right? Alternate was kind of the idea that they have, right?
Yeah, they really did
running by committee, and they just fed Gainwell though. First quarter, we saw all of Gainwell. We got Swift for 2 carries, and he didn't really do anything with that either. So I was confused of why. You know, Gainwell, Swift. I knew that they were going to be getting the ball, but I think Gainwell got way too much, and I think that's look what happened. He got a rib injury. Now he's going to be questionable. And not for nothing, Mailata and Lane got beat a couple times. They were getting pushed back a lot.
Yeah, they were some rust.
Yeah,
which I don't know if that's something to do with the field, and maybe the field was slick and they weren't having footing to hold their ground.
I could imagine.
I don't want to bring back turf up into the conversation again, but I mean, it was kind of funny.
There were a lot of. I will say there were a lot of players were slipping or moving, and I feel like that was definitely a part of it was for our tackles, for as good as they are. I think, between the slippery field surface, I mean, it was pouring at the start.
Yeah.
And so maybe they just had the wrong cleats on. I don't know. But, hopefully I'd like to see a bounce back on Thursday. This is.
I mean, you have no choice but to bounce back.
There's no choice. The defense definitely helped with the game. They pressured Mac Jones. Mac Jones really couldn't step back there too long. The only thing Jordan Davis and Jalen Carter really were
the first snap. He was right in.
They were in there. In there.
I don't know if you guys saw that night. They said Mac Jones. I think it was around the third quarter. They put up a little stat that said Mac Jones' time with the ball was averaging 2 seconds.
Yeah,
because he had that was like their game plan from the start. And I think that's another thing you come into with Belichick.
Yeah.
Because he knows he's sitting there going, all right, we're going up against the best pass rush in the NFL. Get the ball out fast. Quick slants, quick outs, quick plays. And it works.
It worked. A lot of stuff was over the middle, and the Eagles were not. Nobody was there to stop it. And I think that is something that needs to be addressed quickly because teams are going to just start doing that, and then it's going to be over. You're not going to be able to sustain that.
That you're going to see with it being a new coordinator. For the style of play we are. And I don't think that's going to be a long-term issue. I think, a few quick adjustments and suddenly teams are going to have to be trying to figure out something else.
Because that was my concern in the preseason, right? Like we were going to have issues with substitutions because that was what we saw in preseason. We saw, personnel not switching right. Like, I don't know what's going on. Like in this game, I don't know if you guys noticed, but I didn't see Nolan Smith that much on defense.
No, it drove me
nuts. I saw him on special teams. I'm like, where's he at? Like, why aren't you rotating him in? Like, are you even rotating the line? Like, I didn't see.
It was a weird rotation. I didn't see a lot of rotation. I saw him out there.
compared to last year. Like last year, I felt like every other play we had a whole new D line in, which is what kept them fresh and healthy.
I agree,
That's what kept them throughout the year. This year, I mean, Cox wasn't feeling well by the end of the game. Brandon Graham looked like he was tired by the end of the game. You know, Hassan Reddick was. I mean, he doesn't usually slow down, and I felt like he was slowing down. I'm like, you got to give these plays a couple reps off. I understand, like maybe you're trying to overload their first week reps because hey, you didn't play the preseason. We're trying to shake off as much rust as possible.
Yeah,
but like maybe don't burn them out either. Like we have this depth at D line, use it.
But that's another thing I was thinking is like, were they holding out the younger crew for Thursday night's game since we are on a short week? Like, were they trying to conserve people? Like,
maybe
was that part of the plan?
That's not a terrible idea, but you know that die almost lost them the game.
Yeah.
If
it's not for Slay's pick 6, we don't win that game.
Agreed, because the Eagles almost lost that game at least 3 times in my book. They must. I'll say
if Hurts throws at least 1 or 2 more passes to Goddard, it's not even close. I mean, there's 2 different plays where those are wide open touchdowns. It's like, all right, so now we're leading by 14, 21 points versus 5, you know.
Or if Jalen's a fumble twice, you know.
Right.
Yeah, I was shocked to see him fall. Like, he was carrying the ball like Lamar Jackson.
Yeah.
Oh, you're smarter than that, man.
Yeah.
His running was
carries the ball out like this.
Yeah, his running wasn't very like aggressive. It was very cautious. He was very cautious and
too cautious.
Too cautious, right? Like he was like going down before he got to the line of scrimmage almost some of those plays. And
it was very interesting.
Is it all because practice is definitely different from the game, but is it because he didn't have any kind of like real game action?
Maybe.
I think Thursday will tell us. I think Thursday will tell us and see what kind of adjustments they're going to do to take on the Vikings.
I think the biggest takeaway from me, like obviously I want to see some changes in the way we run our offense, in the way the defense changed. Like I want to see some more rotations, all that. The part that is the glaring eye to me. How do you possibly have a field goal unit or a punt team not ready on game day? We took 2 special teams timeouts because we didn't have the proper personnel.
Mm-hmm.
That, in my opinion, is inexcusable. That I remember high school days, end of every practice, we're sitting there, we're doing gassers, we're running drills, going, march down, doing the cadence drill. We start at the 10-yard line, and we have to go 10 yards for every time we get the cadence right. We had full sprint and then stop and hear it again without any false starts all the way down the field. And then afterwards, we do a special teams drill. We're in the middle of trying to catch our breath. They're like, field goal unit on the field. You got to get there. And you got to know your job, and you got to get there, and you have to be there in like under 30 seconds. Yeah. In the NFL, this should be, like, no, like there shouldn't be any like, oh my God, where's the guard?
Yeah, that should not be. Yeah, agreed. That's inexcusable.
On 3rd and 18, special teams coach should be walking on the sideline saying, hey, especially if you're deep, like punt team, ready up, or hey, we're close, field goal unit on me. Like, so the moment that play ends, if it doesn't make that first, that the team's ready to go. That starts in high school. How is that a problem in the NFL?
Yeah, it's right. It's again, you can also chalk it up to rustiness and a new. No, I don't know.
No, you're not rusty on things that have been instilled in you since Pop Warner. No. Someone says special teams, get out there. You should know your position. And if your coach is messing up, if your special teams coach is not getting you organized, he's got to go.
Yeah, this is what I want to do. I ask you guys. All right, so we all watched the game. We saw what happened. I'm going to ask you guys for one word to walk away from this game, and then we're going to put it away and move on to the Vikings. Just give me one word that would describe that game to you.
Sloppy.
Sloppy. Mark. I'll go. Let me go.
Yeah, go ahead.
I will go with one word, and one word for me was escape. Escape.
Okay.
Because that's what they did from that game. They escaped that game.
Unrefined.
Yeah, that's sloppy, unrefined escape. Those are not, I would say, positive words.
No.
Those are not positive words, and I want to walk away from Thursday's game with 3 positive words here. So think about that.
I will say, going into Thursday, I'm interested to see what Vikings team shows up because they were disappointing on Sunday.
They lost to Tampa.
They lost
to Tampa with Baker Mayfield throwing I don't know if he ever got over, but at one point, Kirk Cousins had over 300 passing yards to Baker Mayfield's 67 or 69.
Yeah.
That's unreal.
It was a crazy first week. We got Joe Burrow going down to Cleveland, only getting 3 points, 3 points on the board for the Cleveland Browns. Are the Cleveland Browns that great? I don't think so. Now they do have Jim Schwartz as their defensive coordinator, so that could be a little bit okay, little swagger with them. We had some crazy games like Tampa Bay beating the Vikings. The Vikings they're going to come back on Thursday and play against the Eagles at home, opening day at the Link. They're going to run through a buzzsaw.
Hopefully.
Tua had a huge game.
Yes, they did.
I'll be honest. That was I watched that game in pieces because I was obviously watching the Eagles game, and I could have gone dual screen, but apparently YouTube with their whole Sunday ticket issue doesn't allow you to customize which screens you watch, which is pissing me off because they only do set packages. They had every game package for the afternoon as pairs or triplets, except those 2. You could not watch both of them, so I had to flip back and forth. That was the best game of the weekend by a long shot. Because, we'll all talk about Tua. Tua won. Tua put up some crazy numbers. But at the same time, we'll look at the other side of the ball going, they held on. I mean, if you're looking at a team, you're going on a team, though, with I think Tua has better receivers. He has better weapons compared to what Herbert's working with. Allen is much older. He doesn't have the same skill set. As let's be honest, Tyreek Hill is a monster. He's going to be, as long as those 2 are healthy, that is going to be a dynamic duo and a nightmare in Tua and Hill for the whole season. That game was just so good because every time I flipped on, it was all right, Miami just scored. All right, back to the Eagles. All right, the Eagles play, kicked, went to an intermission, flip over. Oh, look at Herbert's throw. Okay, they just scored. All right, back to the Eagles.
Yeah,
every time I changed, someone was scoring.
Yeah. And then I watched of course I had to watch the Colts Jacksonville game.
Of course you did.
Of course we did.
We both did. Yeah. How'd you guys
had to?
And
that was a back and forth game, and where Jacksonville pulled it out. Yeah, Jacksonville pulled it out and won that game. But
Anthony Richardson might be the
best rookie quarterback this year.
The best rookie quarterback this year, man. He came out hot.
Weird. It's almost like someone knew Stroud and Young were not going to be good.
Who said that?
How about that?
You mean the Munchkin and the
and the most accurate quarterback to come out of college football?
Yeah,
right.
Hey guys, let me throw a pick. When I'm done throwing a pick, I'm going to throw another pick.
And for fantasy points, Hill put up 45 points by himself.
Oh,
yeah.
That was insane. And then
wow, Ayuk put some numbers up too.
Brandon Ayuk did. Now, let's talk about the game, the Sunday night game it was the Dallas Cowboys and the New York City Giants. Wow.
Wild. Yeah.
Wow. Now, sadly, Dak didn't throw any interceptions, which I'm just, I'm sorry that I can't inform anybody with that, but to show up and go.
Mike, it's okay. It's okay. The downfall is soon come. Right. It's coming.
We're in that Dallas Cowboy fan phase where it's we're back. We're them boys. We're here we come because we beat up on a really lousy team.
Getting their self-esteem up, they're getting their pride up.
I don't know how much. I don't know how disappointed you have to be on a 53% completion percentage performance for 143 yards. That's not really anything to be shining about. Don't get me wrong. I know the Eagles. We've all been ripping on the Eagles all week.
Yeah.
If you win 40-0 and you put up a dud. How?
Their defense. Well, their defense played well, and the Giants played terrible.
The Giants, everything went wrong that could possibly go wrong for them.
Yeah. Like the stat. Let me go over the stat of what the Giants did that has never been done before. Lost 40-0 or worse. Lost a sack battle, 7 sacks to nothing. Lost a turnover battle, 3-0. Had a blocked field goal returned for a touchdown. Threw a pick 6 in one season. No team has ever done that in a season. They did it in one game. Like that's an accomplishment that I don't think Giants fans are going to want to hear. And I'm going to just keep putting it out there. I'm sorry.
Bravo, Giants.
I told you guys prior to us recording, but I'll say it here publicly. Last podcast, you asked about our division and who are the possible contenders, and I made the bold claim about the New York Giants. Figured, all right, they reloaded. They have a good coach. They're young. They're strong. We'll see how it goes. Clearly, I am wrong, and I can admit that I'm wrong. You might be first game jitters, but I don't know how you lose 40-0 on first game jitters.
I don't know.
So yeah, I'll eat that cupcake. And we'll see how the rest of the division plays out. I will say I've seen more talk of the Cowboys and Niners in the NFC Championship just in the few days since their games ended.
Of course.
Because the 49ers beat up an overhyped Pittsburgh team.
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
Pittsburgh looked so disappointing.
Did that?
God, that game was tough to watch.
I'm gonna be watching Pittsburgh though, because again, Mike Tomlin has never had a losing season.
I still don't think
17 years, and I still don't think he's going to have a losing season. He might finish 500, but that team is a good team. It's not a terrible team. It's just
they got decent talent on there. They'll be all right.
Yeah.
Some adjustments coming up.
Yeah.
I mean, they got what? They got the Raiders. That should be like that could go either way. They got the Texans. They'll beat the Ravens. They'll probably trade with. Granted, I will say the Rams outperformed. I was shocked how good the Rams did. I'm looking at their schedule. Like they still have to play the Cardinals. They still have to play the Colts. They have a chance to have a winning season.
Yeah,
a chance.
So the according to my my NFL that we're going to be talking about, the NFC East, which has the Commanders, Eagles, Panthers, and Giants. So we got two teams. Right, so we got 2 teams who 1-0, and then the Giants and Panthers. Then we have in the NFC Central where we have the Cowboys, Raiders, Falcons, Cardinals. Right, so we got 3 teams that are 1-0, and if Cardinals are 0-1, Cardinals they're just completely they're like I don't think they could beat a college team at this point.
And yet they almost beat Washington.
Yeah, I was going to say they really hung in with Washington there for a second.
Washington's not great. So we got the NFC West here, which is we have the Rams, 49ers, Chargers, and Seahawks. So that's like 1-0 Rams and 49ers. AFC North, which is now Browns, Bengals, Colts, Steelers. Browns are the only team with a win. Browns.
Even in their actual, the Ravens did pull out. No, the Ravens did pull out the win. I forgot. Well, they're playing the Texans. They deserved it.
Right. And then we got the NFC North where we have it's the same. It's Packers, Lions, Vikings, Bears. That's the same as the regular NFL. We have AFC Central where in our league here, nobody has a win because it's the Titans, the Broncos, the Texans, and the Chiefs. Everybody's 0-1. We have the AFC South where everybody has a win. Buccaneers, Dolphins, Jaguars, and Saints. The Saints, what do you think the Saints? If the Saints are real or Saints just kind of like mediocre and they kind of just won by accident there?
Wait and see on them.
I think they'll develop more as the season goes on, to be honest. I think they've got a lot of young talent there. You got to think they're playing without Kamara. They'll get him back soon because beating someone to death is not that bad compared to gambling. So you'll be back to playing.
Unreal.
But I think that Carr just has to still get a better feeling for the team. Michael Thomas had an okay showing. Olave had an okay showing.
Yeah.
You're also got to keep in mind that Vrabel has never had a bad defense. So the Titans had to come out with a good defense, and they did. Yeah. I don't think the Saints are going to have that same issue playing the other teams that they're going to go up against.
Yeah.
So I like the rest of their division is not going to be Titans worthy defense. So
the Titans. When do we see Will Levis play? When do we see him? When do we see we finally say Tannehill is done, and we see Will Levis? When's that happen? Think so? All right, so here our last. Well, go ahead, Miguel.
I would say when they're out of the playoff picture, they'll put him in.
Yeah, might be sooner rather than later.
Maybe.
And then our last division, it's the one with the Ravens, Jets, Bills, and Patriots. The Jets are 1-0, and so are the Ravens. But let's talk about Monday night. I know it might be too soon for some. I watched some footage from Rich Eisen's show, and he did a nice. He's really upset. He's really sad. Like, and I feel bad. Like, Aaron Rodgers, he ran out in the field with the American flag on September 11th. Like, it was like a perfect debut
with the Hulk Hogan theme. I'm
with
the
Hulk, right? You couldn't have asked for a better story. Everybody's watching Hard Knocks, seeing how he's helping Zach Wilson, and to come into the game 4 snaps and to just completely blow out his Achilles.
As soon as I seen it, I knew it. I was like, it's over.
Yeah, and I was like, no way. He's probably, like Rich Eisen said, it's probably just a high ankle sprain. He'll be all right. And all this, talking. No, it's not. It's worse than we thought. It's worse than we thought. And now we're talking about this Hall of Fame career ended in 4 snaps with the New York Jets, and he's never going to probably play for the Jets ever again.
How soon before they linked this to Brett Favre, since it was on the 4th snap?
Right? Oh my goodness! Oh my goodness! I didn't even think about that. Oh my goodness!
You go to the Jets die, man.
Man, the Jets.
So funny enough, we got done dinner Monday night, and I was like, "Oh, we got some time." And my daughter has been going on about Halloween. She was talking about the Pirates of the Caribbean. I was like, you know what? I haven't seen that movie in a long time. So I put on Black Pearl. I was like, I'll watch this, and I look at the runtime. It's going to end like right when Monday night starts. So I'm like, this is perfect. The movie ends, and I flip it over. And by the time I flip it over, it's Buffalo's possession. I didn't even know Rodgers had gotten injured.
Oh, geez.
Until that next pitch where I'm sitting there going like, wait, why is Wilson in? I was like, oh, tell me that. Oh, I'm sorry. At this point, no, the movie hadn't ended. I actually saw it on my phone. I turned it on my phone. I forgot about that. Yeah, because at the end they're playing a song, like they're playing the song about the hangman.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there and I'm like, tell me that Rodgers is already injured. And I'm like, listen to this song about like, the end. I'm like, oh, no way. I flip over the actual game and it's like, yeah, Aaron Rodgers carted off the field. I'm like, bro.
Yeah. It was
way.
It's a shame. Yeah.
I started watching the beginning of Raw, and then when I flipped over, they were like, "Oh, they're taking Rodgers into the blue tent," and I'm like, "What? What happened?"
Yeah.
And then as soon as I seen the replay, I'm like, they still didn't know at the time, but I'm looking at the replay and I'm like, "Yeah, that's Achilles. He's done."
And he's 39 years old. You don't really come back too well from an Achilles.
Funny?
Take it from me.
We'd had a discussion this summer in one of the pods about the turf.
Yeah.
And there was discussion on the NFLPA, and all the players were saying continuously the worst turf in the league,
MetLife Stadium.
MetLife.
And that's new turf that they put in this season.
Yeah, that's new turf.
Still not good. It's still.
But you know what?
Get rid of turf. Go to field. Go to dirt.
And I hate. Well, they did have a dirt turf, but the grass kept like dying. They couldn't keep it alive. Like for whatever reason, grass doesn't grow in that stadium.
Like, how is that possible?
I don't know.
Concrete
but,
jungle.
I say that the Jets fans kind of talk this into fruition because I listen to the Michael Kay show a lot, and I remember when they were deciding to make that trade before they were debating Carr and Rodgers, and they were like, "Why are we going to trade for this old guy? He's going to come in and he's going to get hurt in the first game of the season." Bro, you fucking jinxed it. You set it up. You spoke it into existence right
thinking
there.
about that though. If I'm not mistaken, was that trade not a conditional trade?
Yeah, well, since he got hurt, they don't have to give him another first. Yeah.
They're not gonna lose their first. They're not gonna lose
their first. Crazy.
But now, what do you do if you're the Jets?
You play Zach Wilson.
No, there's a lot of options out there. Do you roll with Zach Wilson? Do you go and call a few quarterbacks who have some experience, like one Carson Wentz?
All right, think about. All right, really, though.
He's ready. He's out there exercising, ready to go.
But you got to think to yourself from this. Go ahead, Miguel.
I was just saying he'll lose the locker room as soon as he walks in there.
He lost the locker room before he walked in there. He doesn't even need a phone call. He'll lose it. No, it's you got to think. All right, the way Rodgers feels about Nathaniel Hackett, for the team to bring in Hackett. Okay, Hackett, just from watching Hard Knocks, he's a very interesting individual.
Yeah.
Wilson's been around him now for 3 months. He's learning the playbook. He's getting it. He definitely has a heads up on the playbook itself.
Yeah.
Bringing in someone just because they're a veteran, unless you're going to do the insane thing, I'm bringing like Brady, which I've seen way too many memes
People
about.
have been putting that out there.
That was the first thing I saw with Brady in the Jets jersey.
Number 12.
But I'm sitting there going, all right, you've had Wilson, who all summer is looking at this playbook, learning this playbook, and learning from Rodgers. Rodgers has spoken highly of the development. The whole team's noticed the development of Wilson. I'm not saying Zach Wilson's your be-all, end-all at the moment, but you think if Rodgers can come back in at least into the facilities and be a mentor there, I think Wilson gives you your best chance for continued success.
Yeah, but that's not weeks from. That's weeks from now. It's not like next week.
No, that's now. That's now.
No.
Because getting someone in now who doesn't know the playbook, you're going to struggle for the first 3 to 4 weeks anyway.
Yeah,
it's not worth it. It's not worth it.
I mean, you bring him in now, and then have Zach start for those 3 or 4 weeks, and then have depending on how he's playing.
What about Nicky Foles? What about bringing Nicky Foles in?
He's good. He's happy to retire an Eagle.
Right.
I don't think he has the footwork to be on that in that offense.
No, especially
that line sucks. That line.
Apparently, right?
Who was the lineman that let that go? Was that Becton that let that sack happen on Rodgers?
I know.
It was their left.
It was a left tackle.
Left tackle. Yeah.
Was that Becton? I don't even know. I don't even know who it was. But
I'm surprised.
I'm surprised he's not catching a lot of heat.
Yeah. I reached out to our honorary Jets fan to the podcast, Sean Beckerman. Shout out to Sean. And I wanted him to come on and talk, but he's quite upset. He
would just get on here and cry.
He's pretty
consoling the whole time.
We'll end up talking to him.
Share with the world what happened to Sean a few hours before the game.
So a few hours before the game, he got a trade proposal, a fantasy draft trade proposal. The trade proposal was for Aaron Rodgers. So the trade proposal was for Aaron Rodgers, and Sean would have to trade Deshaun Watson, who had a pretty good fantasy day to say the least.
But he's a Jets fan.
But Sean is a Jets fan, and he also has 4 Aaron Rodgers jerseys coming in the order that he made. And he said, accept. He accepted Aaron Rodgers for Deshaun Watson straight up. And lo and behold, a few hours later.
Look, I will say I don't blame him because I feel like healthy Rodgers has a better season than Watson. Mm-hmm. But talk about unfortunate luck.
Right.
Yeah.
And so now, he put it out there. He wants the league to veto it. And I said, it's up to the league to veto it. If they all want to veto it, that's okay. But
I think more votes happen for this than ever before.
There's a few people who were like one brother of mine was like, too bad. He was very adamant. I was like, Bob, did you agree to put this through? He goes, yes, 100% yes.
Yeah. Hey, listen. Hey, you accepted the trade. That's it.
There's no contingency on that trade. There was like, yeah, I'll take him no matter what. Yes, take him. I'll take him.
I went ahead, was like, you know what? It's a rough break, and you're the one delivering my Eagles jersey, so I vetoed it.
He's gonna hold our jerseys hostage.
Hostage jersey. Hostage.
Yeah, I don't want any jersey problems. So I got a lot of jerseys on the line.
Gotta get that Kayvon Wallace jersey. Gotta get that Kayvon Wallace jersey up in there.
Yes, I was like, hey, you know what, bud? Here, I'll give you a veto, but I want my jerseys.
Oh man, that's funny.
I don't know if it means anything because so many people voted to uphold. I think that's gone.
I think it's been upholded, and hey, it's the luck of the draw, I guess, right? You roll the dice on a 39-year-old quarterback. What do you say? What are you gonna say?
Although I'd be interested to see what the Jets actually do.
Yeah,
because I'm sure they made a couple phone calls. One to Tom Brady, first of all. I wonder if Matt Stafford would be available for a trade.
Wow.
After the game he just had? I doubt it. Who else do they have? Stetson Bennett, the 26-year-old rookie?
Yeah. Okay. I want him out there now. I want Stetson out there now.
I mean, the Jets got that first-round draft pick back. If this is a Super Bowl contender, you're going to want a Super Bowl, ready quarterback.
It's true. That's true.
Or Gino. What's the price for Gino?
Yeah.
Oh my God, Gino.
Yeah, Gino.
Yeah.
Donald's scared that man.
I doubt it, but it'd be
So,
interesting to see what happens there.
Moving on into week 2, Thursday night football, Eagles, Vikings, a rematch of last year's week 2 on Monday Night Football. Miguel, you go first. What are your thoughts on this game?
Well, it's prime time. You know how the chain gang does.
That's the reason why I'm not starting Kirk Cousins on my fantasy team. He's on the bench.
It's interesting.
Two. What's it called? What's his name? Two Chain's cousin.
Two Chain's.
Some
Some stupid name. Doesn't
dumb
really
shit. Right.
I
But
don't know if I want to start. I don't know if I want to start Jefferson.
Right. Your number 1 pick. Do you start Jefferson? Your number 1 pick.
I mean, with Bradbury out, are you spying him with Slay all game?
I don't wish
Because Job is getting that slot.
You don't think Eli Ricks? You don't think Eli Ricks?
No, they already said Job is going to be taking over Bradbury's spot.
Can I also make a moment or call back to last week with a worry about this week? I did not like how Avante played. Maddox, I felt, let up a few too many passes last week to players he should not have.
Right.
And that bothers me, knowing that he's going to go up against either Jefferson, Osborne, or Jordan Addison.
Yeah.
Like, Addison might be the problem for us this week.
Right. Yeah, it's going to be. There's going to be some issues there. They as long as they can keep, I guess, Jefferson under control, they got to just almost manage the other 2 guys. I am a little nervous about this game. I am a little nervous.
Oh, you got to be.
I am a little nervous. The way that defense played on Sunday makes me a little nervous. And hopefully, it's a short week. How much adjustments can you do to make up for what was, all the tape that's out there now for the Vikings to say, oh, all right, over the middle. I am not a NFL analyst, to say the least. I know I'm not a coordinator or anything, but if it was me and if I was Kirk Cousins, I'm looking over the middle every single play.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's what the fear is, right? That Bill Belichick exposed the blueprint on how to not beat the Eagles, but at least contain them enough to stay in the game with them.
Yep.
So this is going to have a lot to prove this game. And, I mean, we got to make adjustments as well. So it's going to be interesting what this coaching staff does to correct the mistakes from last week and to put something new on tape for this week. So it's gonna be a close battle. Go ahead, Mark.
Yeah, I say, yes and no, like for exposing us, because again, Hurts is, in my opinion, and maybe I'm just biased as an Eagles fan. I don't know. I'm going. We had a rough week as a team. I don't think it mattered who was up against us. We just didn't play well. We weren't spreading the ball around the way we normally do. I think if we can get Hurts out of his silly little mindset he was in this past week, and you start getting the ball to Goddard, and you get the ball to Smitty, and you get these moves around, these plays around, I don't think that style of a quick play offense is going to be enough to contain us. When we're up, again, like we mentioned earlier, if we're making those plays, like those plays to Goddard, we're up by 2 more touchdowns. It's not a close game anymore.
Yeah, I agree with you, but I think the more concerning part is the defense. If our defense isn't stopping Minnesota and they're keeping up with the scoring, that's going to make it a hard game to win.
Agreed. But I just think I think I'm looking at going, I don't see Jefferson wanting to have a whole game of 6-yard receptions. He doesn't want to take every play across the middle, because receivers hate going across the middle unless it's one of those big deep post plays, because they get lit up. I caught it for 6 yards, and then the safety, the cornerback, and the linebacker pancaked me into one little sandwich block, and now my ribs hurt. Receivers hate that. I've noticed since high school, receivers hate going across the middle for that exact thing.
I know. That's
Jefferson
definitely a thing.
Does not want to take 6 yards every play and get smacked. He wants to go deep.
But they're not going to. I mean, that game plan is not just going to be 6-yard deep all the time, but
No,
I'm
but
sure they're
saying
going to
that's
want
a
to spread the
style.
ball out.
Yeah.
I mean, we'll see. Kirk Cousins is not a primetime player. We all
And
Well, he'd argue
witness-
that.
if
I mean, he had the one good game that we've known recently, right?
No,
Right.
I just saying from the quarterback special, he's like, I have all these primetime balls from
yeah, right.
Like,
He hasn't really
look at
started
my
from.
wall of primetime success. So I don't know where this mentality.
I think if what the problem would be is containing Jalen Carter. If Jalen Carter can, pressure Mac Jones, and I don't think Kirk Cousins is as fast as Mac Jones, and Mac Jones is pretty slow. Kirk Cousins might be going down quickly with Jalen Carter in there. I think that's going to be your take right there. Jalen Carter is going to change the game.
You hit the nail on the head. Last week they were sitting in Mac Jones's lap. They were getting there too late. This week they have to be there. They have to hit Cousins. They have to make sure he's not holding on to that ball 2 seconds.
Yeah, they just got to hit him. If they hit him enough times, that will be the deciding factor of that game.
And can we get some Nolan Smith in the fucking defense, please? I ain't seen him. Damn it.
We need some Nolan Smith out there. And hey, Sidney Brown on special teams.
Oh, what a play!
What a guy, right?
Yeah,
He keep him out there. He lit up that guy on that punt return.
He sure did.
So on paper, I would say the Eagles have a big advantage over the Vikings because, look at it. Mark, what are you going to say? Go ahead.
Just real quick. So, like I said, looking at last week compared to this upcoming week, I guarantee you, Belichick, let's be honest, probably one of the best coaches to ever coach in the NFL.
Yeah,
He knew it was coming.
Billy B.
He knew it was coming. He set this up. The plays that were being had were so quick for them. So offensively, they were built to be quick off the ball plays. Like I said, he was averaging holding the ball like 2.5 seconds or less. The average NFL quarterback holds the ball for about 4.2 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
If we were in his lap this close at 2.5 seconds most of the game, 4.2, you're eating dirt.
Yeah,
You're eating dirt to our D line. So I don't want to say Kirk Cousins is average, but
well, look at Bill Belichick is willing to change his whole game plan to get an advantage for every game. I don't think every coach is like that. I don't think the Minnesota Vikings coach, I forget his name, he's not going to change his whole game plan just because of the Eagles. He's going to he's going to drop Kirk Cousins back there, and he's going to let him throw. And as long as the secondary can just hold on for a few seconds, Jalen Carter and all those guys are just going to be just chowing down Kirk Cousins.
You know what's interesting with that exact comment, though? So I remember years ago when I first started watching college football, I was an Oregon Ducks fan. Still am, obviously. But back,
we all know.
I'm talking back Dennis Dixon days when Dennis Dixon was on his Heisman run.
Yeah,
I
loved it.
I literally was like, why don't you see the option in the NFL? And everyone's like, the option does not work in the NFL. Players are too good, too fast. You can't say it doesn't now. We run RPOs almost every play.
I know, but it's not the same as the option.
Oh no! Compared to what they were doing at the time, it's 100% what they were doing. They were doing a triple option with a throw ability to it, which is why they were so dominant during his time until he tore his Achilles, or his was an ACL. Either way, my point was though is that college. What got me into college was that exact thing you just said about Belichick. Every week, their game plan. They have a whole new game plan depending on the team they're playing.
Yeah,
well, I feel like the NFL only does a little bit. It's like, hey, here's what we're going to do. Here's what they're going to do. These are the minor adjustments to fit them into our scheme.
Right.
Where I feel like Belichick is like, hey, this team sucks against a 4-3 defense. We're going to implement a 4-3 defense this week. Next week, we're going a 3-4 attacking. The following week, we're going to run a 46 bear. Like, he will completely take the playbook, be like, hey, this playbook you spent all summer learning, this was an Eagles playbook. It goes here.
Yeah.
Like, now we're playing whoever we're playing this week. This is your new playbook. And it's like, what do you mean new playbook? Right? A little minor tweak? No. He does a full-on college attempt of let's scrap the whole thing, start with this.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's weird growing up, like I said, being a college fan and finding people being like, oh, college stuff doesn't work in the NFL. It just doesn't. And now I'm like, I feel like it does. It just has to be implemented
differently. Yeah.
But
No.
it 100% does.
Yeah. Let's do our predictions for this game. I'll go first.
Go ahead.
I think the Eagles are going to have a much different offensive game plan than they did against the Patriots. I think, that first game is a little rusty game. I'll take that. That's what they did last year. Same thing. They beat the Lions. The Lions gave them a hard time, just like the Patriots gave the Eagles a hard time. Minnesota comes into the link opening day, and I think it's going to be the same case. The Eagles are going to beat the Vikings 34-17. Yeah, that's it.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Mark, you ready for one or no?
It's all you, Miguel. It's all you.
Well, I think it's going to be a difficult game. I think it's going to be. I don't think it's going to be as quite as a offensive juggernaut Mike's expecting there. I think it's going to be a more defensive battle. So I'm going to go 24-16.
Okay. All right.
24-16.
Eagles.
So I think, knowingly, Justin Jefferson has some bad blood against the Eagles right now.
Yeah.
We gave him his worst game of his career last year. He doesn't like that. He had a bad game last week. Not him particularly, but the team. He's got a lot of sour taste in his mouth. He's going to come out angry. However, our D-line, as we just spent time talking about, he's ready to taste a little bit more turf with a quarterback underneath, little quarterback sandwich. And I think Kirk is a delicious sandwich for our boys.
White meat.
Now, extra white.
Very vanilla tasting.
That is there's no salt on that meat. But you know what? We're going to add that. We're going to add some vinegar and salt to this. But I do think that Alexander Madison and Jordan Addison show a little reason why they are such good rookie. Well, I guess Madison's not a rookie, but Addison being the rookie that he is, and I think Madison being just a good running back that he's proving people that he is. It's going to be more of a struggle than I think we want it to be again. But I do also think we spread the ball a little bit, get a little bit back to our offense. I'm thinking, and I hate this because it's going to go against what I already have in a DraftKings bet because I'm a moron. I'm thinking 28-24.
Oh, that's close.
Eagles win. Now, I could be wrong. I think last week I predicted a pick six. Just want to remind myself of that. So this week, I'm feeling, huh?
Right.
Hey, but did I call it or did I call it?
You called it.
So this week, I feel like we're getting a fumble. I feel like a fumble from Kirk Cousins ends up, let's say, in Josh Sweat's hands.
Okay. Sweaty. He could have had an interception last week, too.
No Sweat.
Yes.
He should have.
He should have had that, yeah. Those are good scores. Those are close scores. Mine is not as close because I really do want to see that offensive playbook opened up and put on display.
Also,
we need to see it.
The Madden simulation has to be wrong, by the way.
Tell us what it is. I'm just downloading it now.
Oh, I didn't watch it. I don't even remember the score, but at the end we had a different quarterback. So we still won.
Okay.
But I didn't like that we had a different quarterback at the end because it wasn't because we were dominating them.
Oh,
I'm noticing that you didn't say which quarterback.
Who do you think was it? Come on.
I mean, if it was Mariota, why didn't you just say Mariota was in?
It was 100% Mariota. You got to keep in mind, look, as much as the league might be up on McKee, whether or not they are, Madden has them rated at like a 56.
Yeah.
Okay. At least Mariota is like a 70 something.
Right.
You know.
Well, that simulation is being downloaded as we speak, and it will be uploaded to YouTube tomorrow morning on Thursday.
But I think it ended what I did see of it looked like it was only the final drive that Mariota was in.
Yeah,
But I don't like seeing backups because Madden doesn't put in backups.
right. Yeah.
So I was like,
a blowout's a blowout.
yeah,
right?
yeah. Madden's like, oh, we're 56-0. Guess what, starters? We're bombing it down the field.
Right.
We're going for gold. It's like there's 10
Yeah.
seconds left. What are you doing? It's like going for another touchdown. Yeah. So
No.
that
Okay.
part not great, but yeah, the Eagles won in the simulation if I remember correctly, which doesn't shock me.
Yeah.
But it should be an interesting week all the same. I forgot, there was one other thing I had put a note down I wanted to see, and I don't remember now.
Well, you just want to see Eagles win.
Obviously, I want to see the Eagles win.
While Mark thinks about that, if you want to follow us on Instagram, we're at Squawking Eagles Podcast. We're over on YouTube, Squawking Eagles Podcast. If you can like and subscribe, that helps the channel. And if you're listening to this on Spotify, Google, Amazon, wherever you are listening to this podcast, a review would be much appreciated. Please and thank you.
Reach out and touch us.
Do you remember what you wanted to say, Mark?
Nothing about the Eagles now.
Okay.
I've got other stuff about the schedule, but just not
Okay.
our schedule. It's the NFL schedule in general. Like looking at week 2, going like, what are we looking forward to? Like,
Hey, Mike, did you see the news about your favorite football player? I'm sorry, Mark. I didn't mean to.
no, you're good. You're good.
Who, Josh Allen?
No,
Jonathan Taylor.
Travis Kelce.
Travis
Oh.
Kelce
Yeah, Taylor
Try-
Swift.
trying to date Taylor Swift here.
Yeah.
Maybe you
All
should
kissy face with her.
maybe you should focus on getting into the field and scoring some points here. Maybe that's what he should be doing.
So
Easy.
funny that
Yeah.
you bring him up.
That porn stats worked on her.
This guy.
Funny that you bring him up because I was just talking to someone earlier about what are the chances the Chiefs start 0-2?
It's a good chance because they're about to play the
The Jags.
Jags.
And I feel like I don't know why I can't say that name and not picture like Austin Powers in my head. Like the Jags. Like
They got the shag, baby. Shag.
Yeah.
Yeah.
in my Jag. Like it's just like kind of just every time I hear the word, I just want to be like fancy. Like it's just weird. But
You want to be like, how's your father?
Right.
Which means they want sex in English or whatever.
yeah,
Or at least I was told.
Old English. Old English.
Old English shit.
But yeah, I'm just that's an interesting
That
week.
should be interesting. Like it's going to be a good week. I think Eagles are going to start off with a win for the NFL, and all is good in Philly when that happens, right?
Yes, sir.
So, that's all that
Um,
matters. But
yeah.
yeah, there's a few times I'm looking at. I'm like, if I can, I just want to be like, what happens? Because you think about it right now, the whole preseason stuff. Everyone was making their predictions, and who were the AFC teams that were constantly mentioned as in the Super Bowl contention?
Bills.
Bills, Chiefs, and Bengals. Right? We're like the
Right.
most common.
I saw some Jaguars in there.
Oh, Corey, yeah,
And-
yeah.
and Colts a couple
The
times.
three most common all are 0-1 right now.
Yeah. I saw a stat. The top 10 quarterbacks all are 0-1 except for Jalen Hurts, who is 1-0.
And I'm looking at this going, well, I would say, do you not consider Tua top 10?
Well, in some of the lists,
Okay.
in some of the lists, he was not a top 10 player.
I'd keep him top 10. But I'm looking at going like the Bengals could go 0-2. The Chiefs could go 0-2. Hell, Jimmy Garoppolo has a ridiculously good winning record, even if he always has like a terrible game.
Yeah.
The Bills could go 0-2.
Yeah.
Imagine a week where week 3 we're looking at it and the 3 leading contenders for the Super Bowl, the AFC, are all 0-2.
Yeah, it's weird. Very strange. Very strange. So another exciting week, guys. It was great talking with you. Thanks for coming on and talking Eagles with us and squawking about them.
Hey, how do we feel about Joel being at the Commanders game?
Joel, you know,
And
I
be-
I just can't fathom why he would even want to do that. Like, okay, he's supporting his owner, but you gotta remember, like, don't come to the game when it's Eagles Commanders. Don't even show up. Don't even show up because who knows who you're going to be voting for. Like, if you see the Commanders score and he's cheering, they're gonna call for his head. I don't.
Yeah.
No.
I mean, I
That's
think it was just there to meet Magic Johnson. Maybe I don't know.
I don't know. It's just I don't know.
Weird. It's weird.
The Sixers
Yeah,
the Sixers right now are just like I don't know.
Or-
They're terrible. I don't like it. I don't like it at all.
You know what? How about this? The Flyers are rebuilding. We're not going to talk much about them. The Sixers are confusing. We're just going to put them on a shelf. We're an Eagles podcast. We're going to talk about the Eagles, of course, no matter what they do. And we'll just look at the Phillies and continue hoping that they keep success. We'll keep the Eagles and their success. And the other two, just you guys take your time.
Just take your time.
The two-step kids, just put them in the back there.
I got hope for the Flyers. Still not this year, but I got hope for the Flyers in the next couple seasons. A little bit of rebuild. They're going to rebuild. So they can, you know what? Up on that shelf, build yourself up. I'll be there for you, my guys. But right now, it's the Birds.
It's the Birds.
It's about postseason for the Phils.
Right.
You know, it's coming up right now where we're just like, Philly it's hitting that.
Yeah.
The one thing I'll never
hitting that stride.
It's not just hitting the stride either. It's that one thing, and it's one thing even though I love hockey, it'll never match what happens right now. Is that we're hitting my favorite time of the year. I love the fall. Okay, yeah. I'm weird. I'm growing up. I remember as a kid, I was like, oh my god, school starts back up. No, and I'm like, bro, but you get pumpkins, you get cool colors, the weather gets nicer because I don't like the heat. You get football, even though I'm not the biggest baseball fan, you get playoff baseball. Like for me, that's the best time to watch baseball. It's kind of like basketball for me. The best time to watch basketball is March Madness. It's the only time for me that basketball really matters. The rest of that I don't care. You know. And hockey is starting. So like I've got all the things I care about the most happening right now.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, it's
I
a
mean,
good
the Flyers camp starts up. The Eagles are on to week 2. Like we're having a good time. Let's go. Philly. Yeah. And what a great city to be in during this time of year.
Yeah.
We got escaped convicts out there getting caught, you know.
Wearing Eagles gear.
Wearing Eagles gear.
Yeah.
I got the picture right here.
There it is.
Because no matter where you are in life, you got to represent the Birds. You know, when the day you're born to the day you're arrested for murder. Like,
here he is. Go Birds.
Yeah,
got him.
Got to represent the Birds. He definitely stole that sweatshirt somewhere, but
he stole it. Yeah, for sure.
100%. But you know what? What I'm saying though is that this city, it just comes together this time of year. You know, I go to Wawa now. Someone opens a door for you. You don't even say thank you. Just like go Birds, and that's just you know, that's a lifestyle, man.
Yeah.
It's just so good.
Go Birds.
And I'm ready for a better game.
We're gonna see a better game this week.
Defensive Rookie of the Year.
It's coming.
Getting 2 sacks.
It's coming.
I'm gonna add to that prediction right now.
Right. All right, that'll do it for us. I'm Mike. That's Miguel and Mark. Thank you for listening. As we always do.
EAGLES Eagles.
Eagles.
Go Birds.
Go Birds.
Hit that music.